Gonna start this video right away by saying I'm not too much of a fan of tri-foldable phones. I love the technology being innovated and pushed forward, and this concept of giving us better and better products. I love that idea. I just don't think tri-foldable phones is ever gonna work. The price tag is just too enormous. It's already enormous for foldable cell phones. Now you add in a 10-inch display, and more problems can go wrong. So, Mr. Who's the Boss went ahead and posted a video about the Samsung tri-foldable phone hands-on, and I'll be honest with you, it looks like a absolute gorgeous device. It looks like a Z Fold 7 extended, which the Z Fold 7 is already an amazing device. Now, of course, right here I have this freeze-framed image of his video because, yes, that bad boy scratches like no other. So it looks like the tri-foldable phone is as scratch resistantless. It scratches pretty much the same equivalent of a Z Fold 3 or Z Fold 2, which to say is that inside layer is just simply not at a point where it can resist anything. As Mr. Who's the Boss says in this video, it literally barely he does anything in the scratches. So that's definitely concerning. Is it expected? Absolutely. It's a first-gen product, even though with this, it is a first-gen product, but we're at a point now where there's a couple tri-foldable phones on the market. The industry has been pushed forward with it, and a lot of the stuff that are making these tri-foldable phone concepts really come from foldable phone concepts that are being pushed a little bit farther to make them. So it is obviously, quote-unquote, yes, it's a new first-gen product, but it's not as new as when they first made a foldable cell phone. Because the technology is there. It's just not as enhanced as you would like it to be. It does have fiberglass on both panels. So if I go ahead and go back here, you can see he does show how it does wobble like absolutely insanely crazy. Which, if you own a Surface Duo 2, you already know the pain of this and how bad this can be. But it does have fiberglass panels on the front here and then here. Now, if you fold it in a weird way, like for example, you fold this back screen in before you fold the right screen, it does like vibrate like crazy, which I do like. And based on the video, it looks like the software is there. And I give Samsung a lot of credit for this, because we have seen foldable cell phones come out. We have seen the Surface Duo 1 come out, and the software was simply not there yet. And a lot of times with these new innovative products, what ends up happening is the software for certain apps, like, apps that are usually made by the company, Microsoft's a good example of that, they will work perfectly. They'll work flawlessly on this device. And then third-party apps are simply not going to work at all well on these devices. The thing is, it is hard to get, certain app developers to buy in, especially with a niche product like a tri-foldable cell phone. But it looks like Samsung did a pretty good job of getting a good amount of developers to buy in, because there's a lot of applications that work very well with this tri-foldable cell phone. But it's just kind of difficult because at the end of the day, if developers that haven't bought in or haven't gonna, create their product for tri-foldable cell phones, you end up in this dilemma of the app just getting stretched and it just doesn't work well with the screen. So you want to get as many, developers to buy in, but it's hard because it costs money to develop your app for a tri-foldable cell phone screen, when at the end of the day, you're not really going to see the return on your investment, because let's say, I don't know, 200,000 people buy a tri-foldable cell phone, $3,000 by the way. If 200,000 people buy it, who says 200,000 people is going to want to download your application? Whatever your application is, it might not be interesting to them. Well, if that's the case, then what's the point of doing it, Just for the off chance that someone's going to use that cell phone and eventually download your application, you're just not getting the kickback that you really want. So that's kind of the dilemma when it comes to certain applications. You know, it's hard to have a niche product and expect everything to work perfect. But it's a beautiful device. It's very similar to the Z Fold 7. And I say that because it doesn't even have the latest and greatest Snapdragon 8 Elite chip. It does have the 8 Elite chip, but it doesn't have the more advanced one that's being shipped out on some of these other phones out there right now. So it's kind of a weird concept for that. It does have 512 gigabytes of storage base, which is nice. 16 gigabytes of RAM base, so you don't have to buy different storage options. But again, the concept is there, man. The concept is gorgeous. It's just, I don't think it's practical. And one thing that Mr. Who's the Boss does show in this video is one thing that a lot of people are going to get upset about. The creases. The creases. And let me see if I can find it in this video real fast. But obviously it depends on, you know, the angle of the light. But the creases are there. Mainly because, you know, wow, that was an absolute awful thing to say right there. Like my voice there cracked. But there's two different hinges. There's two different hinges here. So let me see if I can real fast. There we go. Right here you can see. Like it's pretty noticeable. There's two different hinges. So both hinges are going to give you foldable, you know, things. Now, we don't know over time and over longevity, how much will this impact this device? How much will this impact this phone in general? Will these, you know, hinges break? Will these foldable screen break because of that? We don't know. So, it's also, again, this is a problem with first-gen products for the most part, usually. You're buying into something that you just don't really know all the answers to. And when it's a $3,000 plus price tag, you want more answers than you're going to get. And it's hard to justify people buying into a product when they're not getting all the answers they want to get. When you're going to spend that much money, you need to know everything. You need to know top down, bottom up, what's going to happen, what is this product, is this product for me, is it not for me? And the problem is, you're not going to get those answers until you use it, and then over time, we're going to find out. Because we might find out in 2 months from now that this phone is gorgeous and has a bigger battery, but guess what? That battery is swelling, and it's causing issues with the display. Like, we might find issues like this in a couple months. These are typical things you're going to find with a first-gen product. These are things you're going to find with something that's a very niche product that's brand new. But you're not going to find it until people start using this phone as daily drivers all the time. And then they're going to start seeing stuff like Mr. Who's the Boss saw, where the screen is going to scratch. And it's going to scratch really badly. And yes, there is that screen protector on top of the very thin glass layer, but you should not take that off. You honestly should never take that off. And if you do, you're probably going to have issues because it might break the inside display, or makes the inside display a little bit less, you know, rigid and actual protected. And you'd have to get replaced with Samsung, which I believe is only like $100 replacement. But who knows? With this one, it might be more. So I love this idea. I love this concept. I love them pushing the industry forward. Does it make logical sense right now with this economy? Probably not. But still, it's cool. I'll leave the link down below in the description to Mr. Who's the Boss video. But I'll see you guys next one. Peace.